everyone, Cassie here with Schwarzkopf Professional. I'm really excited to share with you a beautiful Hollywood glam wave on my lovely model, Augustina. The classic Hollywood wave is something that we get asked for all the time behind the chair. It's a great way to dress up. Whether you're going to a wedding or whether you're going to just a simple event, this is a beautiful way, especially if you don't want to wear your hair all the way up. Now I'm gonna get her prepped for her Hollywood set. First and foremost, I think a classic Hollywood set needs to have a beautiful side part. So I'm always gonna just kind of take a look at her face. Now, you could go with a really deep side part, very 1940s, and that I kind of gauge based off of the corner of her eyebrow. Where is that gonna sit? For something a little bit more modern that will fit my client, I like to just kind of have it be a little bit more natural. So just off that deep part. So more of a natural side part. The most important thing to do is get the hair in a really good place, a good prep, a good product to help give it the security and hold that you need to hold the curl pattern in place. I always find that the easiest hair to work on is actually mannequin hair. And I know that sounds really funny, but mannequin hair just holds shape really well. Human hair doesn't always feel that way. My goal is always to just kind of make it feel a bit like mannequin hair. And that really requires lots of product. So I'm actually gonna go into her hair in this dry state with a foam. I'm gonna use grip because I find grip to be a great hold, a great base for styling. And it gives that hair that really good tack to it, which means that when I put a curl in, it's gonna have a nice security to it. So again, on her hair dry, starting at the mid-lengths, using my fingers. I can already feel that texture in the hair. It's giving me a nice amount of pull, a little bit of, weight and structure to the hair. It's got a nice tackiness to it, but not too tacky, and still brushable, and that's super important. You don't want it to be so weighed down with products that you can't actually run a brush through it, and the worst thing that could happen is getting flakiness. And that's actually the thing I like about grip, is that I can do this on dry hair and know that I'm not gonna flake when I brush it through. Now I'm gonna start her sectioning. Now the big question always is, how big of a section should you take? And I think that that is always dependent on the size of your iron. So for me, I'm dealing with an iron that's about a 1-inch iron, which means that I'm gonna take 1-inch by 1-inch square sections. So starting in the back, I'm taking about a 1-inch section, not considering these superfluous baby hairs at this point, but knowing that working upward, I'll work beyond that. So I'll think about this not being here, make about a 1-inch parting all the way across. So I have a nice 1-inch section. Now my next section will be 1-inch by 1-inch. Now, what will happen here is that I'm gonna get about a 1 1/4 inch over here. So because that's gonna happen, I'm actually just gonna split this section right in half. Now I'm gonna use the Session hairspray. Now, the reason I'm using such a firm holding hairspray at this point, I know that sounds so bonkers, but the reason is because I need something with super hold. The great thing about Session is that it's gonna give me that secure hold for my set, but when I come back through to brush it out, it will not flake. To avoid burning my client and getting super close to the head right away, I'll come out, wrap it once and wind it in, and then I'll wind the hair down the barrel, just like this, to the very, very ends, and release. This is the set. I'm gonna let it set like this until I'm finished and brush it all the way through. It's important that if I start going this direction and wrapping this way, that I continue that all the way throughout the entire set. It's important because if I switch directions at any point, it's now becoming a beach wave. It won't connect in the end. And this is that classic Hollywood set. So what I'm doing with my curling iron is recreating a classic set, a classic pin set. This would have been done in the 1940s with a pin curl set. So I'm basically just mimicking the same shape with my iron. Remember, starting kind of out mid, rolling up in, wrapping and wrapping. I'm not leaving my tail out, so I'm winding it down so that it gets all the way on the iron. And then releasing and letting it fall. So this will be the last section here as I transition up, where I only have hair in the back of the head. After this point, I have hair in the front of the head as well that needs to be thought about when I'm incorporating the next section. I'm gonna finish the section right here, doing the same thing I did below, and as soon as we come into the transition, I'll walk you through. As we start to transition from the round of the head, I'm now gonna start to incorporate the hair from the sides. Again, maintaining a 1-inch part, a 1-inch section, all the way around the head. And I'm following the natural curve of the head as I walk around that part. Spraying again the section with session spray. Taking my iron, facing it in the same direction I did at the bottom. So always pointing in this direction if that's the way I started. Coming in underneath, wrapping away from the face on this side. I'm gonna continue this all the way around for the next couple sections until I get into our next transition. I'm at my next transition, and that's where my part comes in. That's how I know my next transition's happening. Once I'm at the place where my part is at a 1-inch section, that's when I stop my full head all the way around. Now, I take my part, separate to one side. Basically, depending on the head shape or the head size, you'll either be splitting this into 2 or 3 sections, and that will really just be based on how much you have left. So right here, I'm now able to split this section in half. So now I'll have one section all the way through, and this will be my very, very last section right here. Now, as I come around the corner of the head here, you're gonna see it's not gonna become a square. So because of that, and to connect this corner to this side, I'm actually taking a little bit from this side and a little bit from this side. And then this next section, I want a section that's gonna kind of fall back on this, so I am making one section here square. But also to connect the corner, I'm gonna take just the corner of this piece so that I can add it to here. So I'm at my last section here. And remember, I've been going around and around and around. This is my last piece. I'm having it come this way. I don't have a starting section on this side. So how do I take care of this last piece? And I make sure that it's still going in the same direction. I have to make sure that I turn her so that I'm still working in that same pattern to mimic what I was doing before. So now, at this point, thinking about coming around that circle, knowing I don't have this part of the circle, I'm gonna start back here and still move, same way I was moving before, with my iron in this direction. Now that our set is complete and the curl is finished, I'm gonna let it just cool down a little bit, give it one more spray, and we'll come back for the brush. So at this point now, she's ready to brush. And I know that you're looking at this brush and you're like, no way you're gonna break apart all that curl with that brush, but that's why we've been using that session the whole way through, to really give that structure and to make sure it holds its shape. Now, I'm using a Mason Pearson dressing brush, which has 2 types of bristles. It has a shorter boar bristle and has a longer plastic bristle. The boar bristle is going to give me maximum shine, while my longer bristle is going to detangle as I work through the hair. So I'm gonna work my way through, blending that together to create the perfect wave. Now the shape is there, and we have all these flyaways. This is when I'm gonna use my session can once again and come in and set that shape in, just also smoothing as I go along. As I'm coming through and just getting these final details in, what you're gonna see me do is not use the entire brush, but I'm gonna use this kind of corner of the brush right here just to do some light detailing to get that smoothness, but without pulling or dragging too much further. Now Augustina has a beautiful glam red carpet wave that she can wear out with her friends or on the town, and I love it. I can't wait for you to see it. I hope you guys loved it too, and if you did, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out more tutorials just like this In fact, if you want to see how to do this beautiful color that she has, you can find that in the link below. For more information on all the products we use today, you can find that on our eAcademy.